Good morning, campers. Happy solar eclipse. We're going to do another eclipse season reading, just like we did yesterday, but for different collective. So we're going to do what is it that you need to let go of? What are the shadows, limiting beliefs, blockages that you are ready to let go of and you're being called to let go of through the energy of this eclipse season? And we're going to do what you're guided to move more towards, right? Towards. You're going to tap into these northern nodes for this collective. But as always, we're going to start from what's going on right now in your energy. So you know this is in fact your collective and your reading. So what's going on, Source? What's going on for this collective? What's in their energy? Romantic love affair. Alright, we're gonna roll with it. Alright, I'm hearing yeah. It's one more for your first row. Alright, we have romantic love affair. We have happiness hater, and we have camera. These came together. We have one of my favorite cards in this deck, which is Creepin'. Isn't he just cute? Isn't he just cute? And we have Dust It Off. For this collective, we're going to clarify in a moment. But for this collective, I am sensing energy of two people, right? Two people in your energy. So you would be connected to someone. But I'm sensing with this, what I heard immediately with this is someone new. So maybe you've been connected to someone for a while and it's been quite of a wild ride. I'm hearing difficult journey, and now you started connecting to someone that it feels easier, it feels nicer, it feels softer. I feel like that also made you think about love. It made you think about certain memories, maybe memories that you share with the person that you're connected to. I feel like this collective, I feel like you are, with this Creepin', what I'm hearing is that you are sort of trying to fish for information, whether there is hope with the person that you're connected to, so that first person that you're connected to, or is the second person, the person that you're I don't want to say meant to be. It wouldn't be meant to be, but you should be. To be honest, it does carry a bit of a settling energy. I'm not saying that it's not a nice person and you don't have, genuine feelings, but I feel it's actually the fact that you have genuine feelings, it's confusing you. I feel you're before we do another row, we're going to do another row to clarify. But there's one thing that's coming to my mind and I want to share with you guys. My universal truth, okay? My universal truth. Only mine. Mine. And you know that I always say this channel is for people who truly want to heal. Right? So not people who are live the rest of their days in denial, learning one lesson out of 100 in a whole lifetime. If you are energetically connected to someone, right? So that first person, you feel in your heart that you still love them. They're on your mind. That creeping, that reminiscing. It means you're not ready for new, real, true love, right? And sometimes when we are in those, deeper soul connections that sort of don't go away for years on end, it's also part of our path to connect to other people. for a variety of reasons. It might be that you have a soul contract with this person. I would just say respect yourself and respect your body. Just advice here, right? But sometimes you may have a soul contract with someone to reconnect with someone. Maybe time spent with them will teach you something about yourself. Maybe there's a lesson within it for both of you. Maybe it is destined. Usually the pull that we feel towards someone, it is the destiny. It is a soul contract, right? And it's something that people don't understand, that soul contracts, they are neutral and they are to serve our learning. And soul contracts always cause this magnetic, passionate pull that is awakening within us towards another person. But sometimes it is a true soul tie, soulmate twin flames, and sometimes it is a harsh karmic that we're going to learn that lesson. I say this to you guys all the time. If it wasn't for the pull, who normal would actually jump into a relationship with a karmic? People think that this is the real deal. That's how it actually works, right? So let's do another row. I don't want to say anything else because I'm hearing a lot of things. Romantic love affair. Give us some details, source. Shine. Your lights irritate their demons. That's an odd play of events. I want one more for that. Inside scoop. Now I'm looking differently at this creeping. To be honest, I'm hearing that I don't want this to sound the wrong way because I'm not getting a negative vibe from this second person, this new person. But I am hearing that they're interested in your light, not so much in you. Does it make sense? It's not a bad thing, right? People who heal, who are on a journey of spirituality, we start to emanate our light. We glow. We're very enticing because the soul of everyone else, even if you do irritate their demon this little bit, they always have this pull towards us because we are healers. We are natural healers, and subconsciously that they know that by our presence, because we emanate high vibration frequency, they can learn to sort of adjust to that frequency. So but true love is someone who loves you for your shadow and for your darkness, right? It's someone who doesn't see you cannot be with someone as a partner if you see them on a pedestal, if you see them as your mentor, as your healer. We should be inspired by another person. Do you know what I mean? Maybe you would, the right collective, it would sort of resonate and you would feel it in you. But it may be that this person is just really enticed and interested. I want to sort of do their energy, like pull 3 cards literally for their energy so we know what we're dealing with. Hold on. That new person. All right. Karma at the bottom of the deck. So you definitely have some sort of a lesson in this connection, right? So I would say right off the bat, before we move forward, don't be afraid to explore this connection, but just take it slow. It might be just a lesson. If this collective, if you are someone who in the past, especially things that were activated by your first person, right, the person connected to you, if you had a lot of anxiety over love, if you were always the chaser, if you're always the one that was pursuing, giving more, right, anxious attachment style, and you've been doing healing, this person may be your course correct, maybe your recalibration to really see how you're now responding to dating, how you're now responding to new romantical feelings. And that's what I'm hearing. And they also may have learnings in this connection as well. So I would say on a very generic level, because this is a collective, I would say explore it, because I feel like one of the lessons that you have to learn is that you're afraid to explore it. So maybe there's still a level of unhealthy attachment to that first person that you're connected to, and that also is going to serve a purpose for you to sort of let that go, to move on. We have that Page of Wands, so there is a journey ahead with that connection, but it's a really difficult balance that we sometimes on this journey have to learn, right? That you shouldn't be entering a full-on committed relationship, union with someone if you still heavily think about someone else, if you still cry about someone else, if you still attached, if you still haven't truly healed your heart, if you still haven't truly let go, because it's just not in line with divine order. You're not respecting yourself, your feelings, you're not respecting the connection. As long as the connection is there, it means that the lesson is there. Whether it's a karmic or a true soul connection, as long as it exists, it means there's still a link, there's still a cord tying you guys, there's still a lesson. So my universal truth, it is not respecting sort of the true meaning of life. Again, this is something that few people will understand. Most people would absolutely do that. Most people, like, they just replace one with another. And this is why there has so much gunk accumulated in their solar plexus. But I feel this collective, you would know better. So maybe you need to hear this, that if you really still strongly, heavily attached, you shouldn't be jumping into a union commitment with another person. However, even if we're connected to someone and we are really being sent a connection that we feel that pull, it feels destined, it feels like there's something in there, we should always follow our passion. So you may want to explore it for your learning, right? For the learning of this person. Again, you may have a soul contract if it's not going away, right? I feel with this judgment, I was hearing awakening for this person. So maybe you have a soul contract with this person to connect to them on a certain level, and that connection, because they're enticed by your light, right? They're interested in you and in what you do. Maybe you already live a very spiritual life, confirmation and blocking, and they're interested in that. So you know how they say that there's this saying, and there's this about spiritual women, especially women, right? Divine feminines, that we attract two type of men, right? One is men who are in complete darkness, right? In complete darkness, and the reaction can be different, but there is something subconsciously within them telling them that we have the healing powers, right? But this is more of a harvest your energy confirmation kind of situation. And that's something that we have to be really protective. This is why we need to understand our power, protect our womb, right? And so on and so forth. But the second type of men that we attract is men that are ready for healing, because we will crack something within them, even if it's not an actual relationship that's going to last, right? Even if it's just literally a connection that without intimacy, you're gonna, explore it, you're gonna date for a couple of months, get to know each other, spend time together. Again, I would advise true divine feminines, we're really protective over our energy, over our sacral, right? Remember that. Remember my teachings. But you may have a chapter with this person for a couple of weeks, months, to explore, to get to know each other in a beautiful, soft, romantical way, that it will crack them open to their journey of healing. And for you, it's going to be a bit of a learning. And I feel that they may come to your life to cause a bit of a tower. I feel this tower may be linked to the fact that you didn't maybe realize how much you still attached to the previous person. So they may help you on this journey of truly detaching, right? Truly detaching, because we shouldn't be, if we love someone, if we feel this person is our soul connection, okay, we should not hold ourselves from entering another relationship just because we hope for something with this person, right? But we should not enter another connection because we know who we are, we know what we want. Do you know what I mean? So if you feel in your heart, I'm going to give an example. If you feel in your heart that you really love somebody, that this is your person, this is your true soul tie, right? And this person, let's say they're not, you're not together, you're in separation, you're not speaking, right? If you still love them, if you are still attached to them, if you still haven't healed your heart, if you still haven't fully let go, if they're true soul connection, you're going to love them forever. But if you haven't let go, to 100% degree let go, you shouldn't be entering a next relationship. And that itself should be a reason, because I haven't let go. I haven't healed my heart. What the other person does with that creep in, what the other person does should not be a reason. I feel this collective, you are still in this place that you don't want to start dating someone else because you're hoping that this person will reach out to you, because maybe you know that they're single, maybe you know that they still think of you because they periodically check in with you. So you're bound by them. Your decision is bound by them, right? How it's supposed to look like, even if you knew that they tomorrow are getting married to a woman who is pregnant with their child, you still choose not to date because you know that you still love them and you still haven't closed that chapter. I hope that the right collective will know what I mean. It's not about what they do, because that's attachment. It's about your own feelings, your own closure, your own, letting go. Do you know what I mean? Happiness hater. That is such a bizarre energy, threatening. I want one more for that. You guys, what is going on in your energy? Backstabbing. Let me do the whole row, because you might be really confused. You might be really... An offer. We have an offer on the table. I'm hearing two things with that. We have love bombing. Sorry, blowing kiss. There's a reason I said love bombing. And golden mirror. A bit of a all over the place sort of energy. So I'm just gonna tell you what I'm hearing. With that offer, I was hearing two things. So maybe this new person, you really feel good with them. I feel like it scares you to an extent. It scares you that if you're gonna allow yourself to explore this relationship, you actually... I feel it subconsciously scares you, because you know that you could fall for this person and it could work, but something within you subconsciously is not ready to let go of that previous chapter, right? I feel you're too self-aware at this point to self-sabotage subconsciously, so you're just very much confused. So you would be thinking about the past. Maybe this person, what they're offering you, I feel like you're comparing. I'm hearing two things with this offer. One is that you're comparing what they're offering you to the previous person. So it may actually feel more healthy. It may actually feel more giving and receiving, more, right? But I feel like you would prefer to get that from that other person. This is why you're trying to do a little bit of like recon and a little bit of like investigation. Like, is it really not possible with this other person? But with that offer as well, what I'm hearing is that maybe your person, it may be a detail for some of you, but I'm hearing it strongly that maybe in the past, your person actually said to you that they do have feelings for you and this and that, but they cannot offer you anything. They cannot offer you relationship. They cannot offer you this commitment. I'm really a little bit of confused. There's definitely something that I feel you should explore this, right? Without pushing yourself, just relaxing. I want two more for this energy, this happiness hater. It's like, I'm hearing something. Not today. I was hearing one thing specifically that maybe some of you may feel like I'm gonna start dating this person. What if the first person attached to you? What if they find out? What if they at one point we're gonna be maybe you know. Like have a photo online, or if we start dating and I don't think I'm ready for this, what if this person finds out and then it's going to be over. But it's, if you think that, it's only another proof that you're not ready for a new relationship, I'm also hearing that you're a little bit afraid, because I feel, you guys, that the connection with this second person, with this new person, is quite genuine. It's quite, so yes, they're enticed by your energy, they're interested in your energy, but I don't feel like they have malicious intentions, right? I'm not sensing any sort of a very toxic energy, but I feel that because of that, you actually feel that you could develop feelings for this person, and you may be thinking, and what if then I'm going to be heartbroken by two people? But again, yet another reason to really make sure that before you jump in a relationship. But you know what I said to you guys, this is what I'm getting and this is what I'm feeling. Everything happens for a reason, especially when we are still on an active journey of healing. Because once you are healed, you start to understand that life is just neutral and life is running in the background, and you really are now empowered. You're connected to your inner self, to your soul, to your mission. You're connected to your emotions, and you really are in empowered to take your own decisions, and it's not affecting you so much. But when we are on a journey of active healing, oftentimes source, our guides, send us certain things. We still have some karmic lessons to help us to really reach that end of the bridge, right? So I do feel you should explore this connection, but on a level of a romantic connection, that first stage of dating that I always say to you guys, right? Allow someone to wine and dine you, to hold your hand, to be there for you, but with no actual intimacy, right? With no, you know what I mean? Because again, part of being divine feminine is to really learn to love and respect your vessel, your body, your essence, your energy, your womb, to the point that if it's not a divine union, I'm not gonna be intimate with you, okay? So it may also be your lesson. But I feel like they may be a really important mirror to still show you things that you need to course correct. And I feel that you do have a soul contract. So if you're worried that you don't want to, maybe explore this, and then you're not going to be ready and you're going to pull out, right? And you're maybe worried that how's this person's going to react. Remember that if it's destined, if you feel this pull towards each other, you have a soul contract, and part of that soul contract is that they agree to this, right? So as long as you're not promising anything, as long as you're not jumping into intimacy, right? I feel on this journey, oftentimes us feminists, we are being sent lessons that the objective of these lessons is to learn about dating. Because remember, one of our mission as divine feminines is to teach people about love, about dating, because the current situation on this planet is very much distorted. It's not about love, it's about wanting, it's about rushing, it's about urgency. It's very egoistic, it's very shallow, it's very conditioning centered, right? So our job is to teach people the proper ways of love. And with that, sometimes, especially if you identify with divine love journey, sometimes when we are in a separation from our person, we are being sent people to explore that relationship connection with, to really understand that I am really ready to have my standards here. Do you know what I mean? If you haven't watched my Divine Feminine Masterclass that I have available free on YouTube, you may want to go there. And there's if you do identify with a divine love journey, sorry, you may want to go there, and you may want to ask And you may want to watch Divine Feminine and Dating and Separation. I think it's one of the first episodes, and it can explain a couple of things to you. All right. I feel it's going to be a long reading, but who cares? I'm going to stop apologizing for that, because we should only be grateful that I'm here for you every day, hour or hour and a half, free of charge, to help you, because it's part of my mission. And I don't know why I keep apologizing for the fact that it's long. All right. Let's tap into what is it that you need to let go of. Maybe that will clarify some things. What is it that you need to let go of, this collective? All right. All right. Your first card is Judgment. What I'm hearing with this Judgment is that there is some sort of a death and rebirth energy in this situation, right? There is a bit of a renewal in your energy that this situation may bring to you. Oftentimes, again, on this journey, certain things happen in the external world. So people are being brought to us. Sometimes our counterpart is being brought for a reunion, for recalibration. I feel like those kind of situations sometimes show us that we're not in a state that we thought that we were overestimating our progress in certain things. So perhaps you felt that you were detached from this person completely. Perhaps you thought that it was that you've let go, and this whole situation is showing you that you still are overthinking, that you still can go to the places of your mind that are not completely centered, that are not completely balanced. And I'm hearing not just for your person, but for this new person. So think about this way, right? There's this first person that you're connected to. You wish you had everything that this person is offering. The new person, you wish you had that with them. But if you cannot hold your divine feminine energy, divine feminine ground with this new person, and you still are a little nervous, how are things going, are not that centered, are not in control completely of your emotions, it only shows that you would definitely not be able to do this with your actual divine counterpart, because they always have more power over us. They're our mirror, right? I feel this collective, you really want to control the situation, and I feel like you didn't even realize that you wanted to be in control of situation. And sometimes, I say this to you guys often on this journey, sometimes certain things that have to happen on this journey, they feel like going backwards, they feel like endings, they feel like lack of progress, but they actually huge jump ahead. And an example of that is moving from in and out to separation, right? Many feminists think that when you are in and out, so suddenly your masculine stops calling, he stops reaching out, and you're entering this stage of separation that it's going to last probably years, right? You feel in the beginning that it's a bad thing, because he's now completely gone. Is it really over? But in reality, it's progress. You're entering a stage of real deep soul level healing. Without that, you would never progress, right? And sometimes we are being sent a connection, right? A person to explore a romantical connection with. Perhaps even it's your lower soulmate, or a random soulmate that you got a soul contract with, and you're really holding yourself from it because you're thinking it's gonna just seal the deal, it's gonna close the past, it's gonna mean that I'm never gonna be able to go back to my person. And it may be a stepping stone on your path of growth, to really move forth on this journey, right? So what I am hearing with this collective